if you have 3 spoons of rice and half an onion, then the future is sorted. Then it's not a feast, it's a party. So you really need to go very down in your, what do you call it, reserves, for you to go to the shops. You really need to go down. Because otherwise you throw away things that expired, And this is what happens. I'm talking about knowledge. I'm not talking about groceries. They expire. Knowledge expires. Peace doesn't. And that's the problem. Peace is fresh food. You are directly in contact with the source. You feed from it. Knowledge expires. The expiry date is very short. Not only that, but it has all sort of complications because it's adequate for this diet and not for that diet, or for this circumstance, not for that. You can't apply that knowledge in this case. It's only in that case, and so on. So knowledge is very complicated compared to silence. Peace is the source that keeps you alive, even if you're starving. It's your food. It's more important than food. You can be very nourished, satisfying your body, but you're starving from peace. You're dying, you see, from the lack of peace. And your body and your cells are full of proteins and vitamins. But your spirit is starving. So why should you go to the shops? You see? I'm sure there's something to eat. Even if to eat yourself, you see. Even if you're silent one day and you're just losing weight, because when you lose weight, you're eating yourself. Actually, your body is feeding itself for its own reserves. So even again, you don't need to go to the shops, you see. So you prefer to eat yourself rather than go to the shops, to go and get more knowledge that has an expiry date, that is second-hand, that you don't know the origin. You don't know where it's coming from, how that product was elaborated. Who fed that plant, that animal, with what chemicals they treated against. What kind of knowledge we eat. What kind of knowledge we adopt as ours. When we really don't know the source. Where is it coming from? Who made it up? Who told us this, you see? Where did we learn it from? But we don't question those things. We just adopt them. We rather have second-hand knowledge than none. And that, I see, is the worst mistake. It's better not to have any knowledge than second-hand. And second-hand knowledge is 100% of it. Even if you learn by experience, the knowledge of your experience is second-hand. The experience is first hand, but the knowledge that comes out of the experience is second hand. Because it's already mental. It's already fragmented and is already imagining that the same circumstances are applying for the situations. So it's not appropriate knowledge. It's not trust. It's not trustful information. But we trust information, not only the ones that come from our own experience, but from others. Just what sounds good, we adopt it. Yes. This is knowledge. I know I should be doing something different with my life. And I'm not, and I feel terrible about it. That's knowledge. That's knowledge. And who gave you that knowledge? Is it your experience? No, it's not. Someone put it in your brain, you see? Someone put it in your brain and you adopt it. And you know that you should be doing something different with your life. And that's why you feel inadequate. And you can argue this with me as much as you like, in different levels, whatever you like. But you will see that it's like a funnel. Funnel? Every problem ends in that little equation. You can't escape that. You know you should be doing different, and you're feeling bad because you're not. And that's knowledge. So it would be so good to learn to say, I don't know how I should be doing in my life. Really. I heard that I should be doing something else, but now I'm not so sure. I'm not that young anymore. As to believe in what others say. And in fact, those who told me how I should be, they don't look very good after all. They're not good models for me to be inspired to follow their advice. I don't want to be like them. So I could get rid of this knowledge, you see. It was never mine. It's been in my psyche for years. I just delete it. On. I take a risk. It's my life. If I'm wrong, I pay the price. But now I declare to myself, I don't know how I should be or where I should be now. And I don't know what's best for my life. How does it sound that? Very good, no? Isn't it liberating? Imagine if you wouldn't know what's best for your life. Which is the truth. Okay? It's the truth. But let's imagine for a moment now that you wouldn't know what's best for your life. Just for a moment, we're exploring. This is a laboratory. You know, the retreat will finish and you can go back. Nobody will follow you to see what you're doing. You can build up your hell again in no time. You're not taking any compromises at all. But just as an experience, just to play with these concepts, think about for a moment, what would be of you if you wouldn't know what's best for you? How would you be? How are you now if you just don't think in those terms? If you just have an open window to whatever comes. And then you trust that if it's not something convenient or you don't feel good, you turn yourself away from it, it's okay. You will have that. You retain that freedom. But you don't carry the knowledge of how things should be. Now, as we do this experiment, now let's imagine that whatever you are trying to avoid for a long time, it actually happens. In your mind only. And just, I want you to check yourself how you are in that situation. It happened. You did your best to stop it, but it happened. You couldn't avoid it. So you thought you thought you knew how terrible it would be to happen, what you're just contemplating now. And you see that isn't as terrible as you thought you knew. So your knowledge was making pressure in you, and it's knowledge that is second-hand, is not real. You're stronger than you think. You're made of something that is much stronger than you can imagine. So this is just about knowledge. We're exploring the place of knowledge in our minds and how it is really confining our life. And we're not talking about knowledge of technical things or your career. We're talking about the knowledge about yourself, the knowledge of you and how you should be and how you shouldn't be. The knowledge of what you think you know about you. So in that context, in a personal context, it would be so great to learn to say, I don't know. You know what? I used to think I knew. But now I really, thanks to a help of a friend of mine, that actually made me ponder upon this. One day, one happy day, it was sunny. I could see the light of the sun coming through the window. And it struck me that I didn't know anything about me. And I didn't know what was best for me, really. That it was just a whole illusion. It was all an idea. And it was torturing me. Now that's what I call a friend. Because since then, I don't have that pressure anymore. I stopped rejecting who I am And I stopped trying to be someone I'm not. And it took a fraction of a second to understand it. That knowledge was my problem. And I realized that it's okay to say I don't know. What a realization. What a gift. What a gift. From then on, I don't know. And now, Christmas is coming. And all my family will be surrounded the table. And it will happen again. What happens every Christmas. The interview. Of people who don't call me again during the whole year. They don't care about me. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. And most of December. But that day, they care so much. And it's always a mixture of fear and what's the name of that thing you roast in the oven? Yeah, it's a mixture of fear and turkey in my tongue. I will never eat turkey again the whole year. So for me, turkey is fear. I saw a joke that chicken saying to turkey the other day, "Happy Thanksgiving," and the turkey answered, "Fuck you." So, when the interview comes, you have the answer. Just try one of your best smiles and practice a few days before, maybe the day with the dress you have for that day, in front of a mirror. Take that glass of champagne, empty, and look in your eyes and say, "I don't know." Just try it. For the sake of, just for me. Try to see if you could dare to answer that on Christmas Eve. Or if you like more sophisticated things, try to elaborate sentences that they negate themselves at the end of them. Like, "I will do everything I'm planning to do so long as I can't." They're good. They're half drunk by then, so they don't really know what you're talking about, but you give an answer. If you can't handle the "I don't know" answer, elaborate something like that, something that neutralizes itself at the end. So these are my advices for. There was a samurai. You know what a samurai is? Yes? The warriors. They're very brave, and this samurai was the best samurai of the. And he came to this master in the mountain and said, with the voice of an order, he was used to give orders and to be obeyed. explain to me hell and heaven. And the master looked at him and said, you are a disgrace, and you dishonor all the tradition. Get out of here. So the samurai, never heard anybody talking to him like that, took out the spade and was about to chop the head of the master, full of rage, his eyes popping out. And the master looked at him and said, that's hell. So, this samurai was very intelligent, so he knew what the master was pointing at. So he went on his knees to thank him, because he risked his life to teach him the lesson of what hell is. And when he was in tears saying thank you, the master raised up his head again and looked at him and said, that's heaven. Hmm? Yes? So that's the way it happens. In no time you can learn the lesson. In just no time. Because it's only for you to witness the difference within yourself of what is hell and what is heaven. It's only you capable of recognizing